Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another live stream Saturday. I hope that your weekend has started well, and it is fair to say that tonight's live stream is probably the worst planned one I've done in quite a while, because I looked at the clock and realised that the time really had run away with itself, and it was about 10 to, and I was rushing around trying to do all the screen captures and getting the likes goal up on screen, changing the subscriber count as well, because that is the huge news for tonight, that we have just passed 280,000 subscribers. So let's get that up on screen immediately. So thank you guys for just subscribing, but watching. Obviously you need to subscribe in order for that number to go up. So a massive thank you to you guys for watching the channel, interacting with the videos, commenting, liking, and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, ridiculous number, but we'll keep on pushing forward and see where we end up. And let me get that off the screen so that I can get you guys on the screen. And here we have in the live chat room tonight, Laurie, Tammy, Bev, Nora, Robert, Neil, Alison, Barbara, Billy's in there, Bella, Daisy, Bonnie again, Shawnee Key, Marge in there as well. So hello guys, thank you for joining me live on this Saturday night. So on Tuesday, this is where we're having the premiere, just so you guys know that is happening on Tuesday night. Obviously tonight is live, totally as normal, but hopefully I'll be able to do that correctly this time on Tuesday, and I am aiming on being in the live chat room with you guys during that premiere on Tuesday night, and it's going to be a normal live stream, just recorded a little bit earlier, and yeah, probably better planned than this one tonight. But let me get the names of my patrons up on screen, because they make this all possible in the first place, and it always takes a little bit of time for the sponsored by to come along, but there it is. So a massive thank you to these people at the bottom of the screen. You know who you are. I always say that they are the foundation of everything that I do, and yeah, they really are, because they allow me to do everything that I do. I mean, musically, but YouTube as well, all of the analysis videos, all that kind of stuff. So yeah, big thank you to you guys. And just to mention that earlier in the week, on Thursday, if I remember correctly, which is only a couple of days ago, but it all seems to blend into one, I was interviewed by Sussex University here in the UK, because they were asking me about everything that I did, and Patreon as well, being the foundation of everything that I do. So it was great to talk to them, and it's because they're doing a paper on something and I don't quite know exactly what it's about, but it's probably about independent music or artists and doing everything yourself and all that kind of stuff on the internet. So yeah, I don't know exactly what it's about, but they were interviewing me. So yeah, very happy to talk with Sussex University about not only music things, but more the business side of things, how it all works, and I think how to possibly make a career out of whatever you do artistically over the internet, and maybe getting an appreciation of that, and how viable it is nowadays, because we have the internet and so many things are possible. But I did make sure that they understood, and that people understand that it is a lot of work, that it's not like a normal 9-to-5 job and then you have the weekends off. It's just literally every day you are doing your job. But yeah, the bonus is that you're in control of everything, and you get to do it from home as well, so you don't have to travel into work. So yeah, there are definitely perks to it, but yeah, a lot of work. Anyway, let's try and keep things organized for tonight, because we'll get the likes goal up on screen. And tonight we are aiming for 320 likes. So if you could leave a thumbs up as you come through the door, that would be much appreciated, so that we can have a pick roulette next week. But the pick roulette likes goal is what we need to hit to have the pick roulette next week. Anyway, let's see actually where we are at the moment with the likeometer. We are at 168 likes so far. So we are, I mean, moving nicely. I think that's over halfway already. So if you could hit that thumbs up, we'll see if we can get an early spike of the likes going on for tonight's live stream. So anyway, I mean, chair update about, I don't know whether you can hear this, but when I lean forward, when I move on my chair, it makes a creaking sound. So that's what that sound is, by the way. If you think that I'm making noises any other way, that isn't the case. It's my creaky chair, which unfortunately, I mean, I did try to tighten up the bolts on it, but it just always is quite loose because the connections aren't quite plush. So it means that when you tighten them up, there's still a bit of give. So yeah, therefore, if I move too much, yeah, it sounds like there are funny noises going on, but it's just the way it is with this chair, unfortunately. And I'll have to think about replacing it with another chair that's silent. That would be nice. I mean, this chair has been going quite a long time now, since the beginning of certainly the analysis videos that I've been doing. So it's been going for 4 or 5 years. So maybe it's time to get a different chair. But a chair where I have access to the space either side for my guitar. As you can see, maybe if I lift my arms up, the size of these, or this chair, doesn't have the rests, the arm rests, which is good because it means that I can play the guitar. But if I got another chair that had those, then it'd be really difficult. I'd have to play my guitar in a vertical way all the time, and that's just a bit of a pain because it's a little bit awkward and it kind of is sliding around, and is a bit of a nightmare. So anyway, that's the chair update for tonight, and let me get the donations tab up on screen. I always say that you don't have to donate, and just watching the live stream, watching the videos, interacting a bit as well is great, and I really do appreciate that. But I know that there are some of you out there who can't resist or can't stop yourselves from donating, so the donations tab is up on screen so that you know 35 to 45% goes to YouTube through the super chat window, and between 3 and 5% goes to PayPal, and that's through the PayPal link, and you can find that in the description below. Also, you'll be able to find the spring.com link there as well for the merchandise, for the hoodies, the t-shirts, the caps, and head over to wingsofpegasus.com for the other merchandise, the earrings, necklaces, guitar picks, all that kind of stuff. Big shout out to the moderators, as always, for doing such a great job throughout all of the live streams. I mean, Saturday nights, Tuesday nights, week in, week out. And I can see Neil going through that live chat room. We have Neil in there, and Carla and Laurie and Susan and Dennis as well. So thank you guys so much for dedicating your time. And I mean, just keeping on top of everything in the, to keep that community feel going in the live chat room, but also those bots that come along and they just kind of post loads and loads of times on the comments. So thank you guys for sorting all of that out as well. It is much appreciated. So I know that we have had some donations before we went live, so thank you for those. And I think they came in a little bit before. Actually, there's one from Diana for $2. This might have been, quite early on, maybe earlier today. And thank you for that, Diana. I'm trying to see whether there's a message. It looks like it's just the character, the guy, maybe doing some rock horns, but it's very small on the screen. But thank you, Diana, for that $2 donation. And Orlando then donated $2. Thank you for that. And Orlando says, spike those likes with some thumbs up, and then says, hi, Paul, with a wave. So Orlando's waving to his sidekick, Paul, who then donated $2. So thank you for that, Paul. And the message is, 280,000. Spike the likes. Oh, y'all. OSK. So thank you for that, Paul. And Jennifer then donated $7 as well. And OSK, by the way, I believe that's going to be an abbreviation for Orlando's sidekick. So thank you for that, Paul. Just in case people don't know that Paul is Orlando's sidekick. There you go. He's now OSK. Jennifer has donated $7 as well. Thank you for that, Jennifer. And the message is music played in a public place such as malls, stores, etc., violating copyright? If not, how do they get around that rule? Thanks, Phil. So, yeah, I mean, if somebody goes out and plays a song that they don't own and they don't have permission to play that song, then technically, yes, they are breaching copyright, especially if people are putting money in their cap or whatever and they're playing other people's songs. So, yeah, technically that is a breach of copyright, but as you can imagine, enforcing the law in that way is going to be very difficult. So, technically, yes, and it depends, because in London you have to be registered in order to, I mean, certainly on the underground, but you have to be registered in, to busk, and that means that PRS will be paying the copyright owners of the songs that the buskers give in, and I mean, give to the, not the Performing Rights Society themselves, but the company that look after all the buskers in London. So anyway, and there are even auditions for this. So in London, there is a particular standard of busking that you have to, I mean, you should do this. Of course, people are going to go out and just do it and get away with it. But to be official and to not breach copyright and all that kind of stuff, you have to go to an audition, and then you are either allowed, or you either pass the audition or you don't pass the audition in order to busk in London. And I'm assuming it's going to be the same everywhere, but I know that for all of the underground stations, that is the process. So it means that they know that you're of a particular standard and the set list, or the songs that you're going to be playing. So that means that they are then covered from the copyright perspective, because then PRS take that money from the company and it's all sorted out that way. But yes, obviously, if you are a busker yourself and you don't want to go through all that process, yeah, you can just go out and take the risk of playing other people's songs and potentially getting money for doing that. But, you do it at your own risk. So it is, a little bit risky if you are doing that, especially if you become quite well known, and people might be on the lookout for you in order to try and get a cut of whatever you're doing if you are playing other people's songs out in public without permission. So thank you for that, Jennifer. And Jennifer donated $5 again, so thank you for that. And the message is, thank you for Poor Wayfaring Stranger. Only time I tried to sing it, I cried through the whole song. Has a song ever made you feel like that? So thank you for that. And I would say songs made me feel kind of reflective. I don't think I've ever cried at a song. It's not something that, I mean, I don't generally cry at movies too much, either. So I think it's just something about me that, it puts me in a thoughtful place, not a crying place, so an emotional place where you're thinking a lot, and you're reflective, but not necessarily crying about whatever's being sung about. So, yes, I've never kind of from memory cried at a song, and I think probably because doing what I do or listening to music the way that I do, I'm listening to a lot of things, and I probably connect with music in a different way to other people who might not analyze music as much, or might not play an instrument or be a musician. Then they can lock into just the message of the song without thinking, oh, I love what the vocalist did with that particular line going to a natural minor note rather than just sticking with a pentatonic. So these kind of things. But even though, I do sometimes think about that, especially when I'm doing analysis videos, I can still appreciate music, but it's still on that reflective level, rather than, losing myself emotionally, because, that rarely happens. But thank you for that, Jennifer. And I think I'm just going to refresh the screen to see and to make sure that we didn't miss any donations that came through as we went live. And no, we are fine, because Tortoro Porco has just popped in there with a $6 donation, so thank you for that. And the message is, I guess my dream of busking shirtless in Piccadilly doing covers of you are now shattered. So thank you for that, but you don't have to worry, because I would give you permission to do that anyway. So it's not as if, I mean, this is the good thing about what I do. If, somebody wanted to do that, not really sure why you'd want to do that, but if you wanted to do that, then you can just ask me on a live stream and I can say, go for it. But just asking the person who owns the copyrights and getting permission, I mean, that is good enough. And there's an actual record here of it for, Tutordo Porco to go around. Now, everybody knows that he's going to be doing a, shirtless performance in Piccadilly. And he's going to be going through all of the Wings of Pegasus songs. So that's something that you have now got permission for. So go for it and take lots of pictures. So, but anyway, seriously, yeah, as long as you contact the copyright owner. The problem is that for, well-known songs and bands who are very well-known, just getting in contact with the person that owns the copyright is an absolute nightmare. So yeah, that's the problem with trying to get permission, is just actually being able to talk to them or email them, because you'll always just pretty much be banging your head against a brick wall just getting in contact with anybody. So yeah, I mean, that's the good thing about what we do here, is that I can interact with you guys in a live setting. So if you do have any questions or anything like that, you can just put it in the message, put it in the live chat room, and somebody can just bring my attention to it, and then we can sort things out. So anyway, thank you for that donation. I know that there were donations over in the PayPal window as well. And this one came in on Wednesday, actually very early on Wednesday morning at 24 minutes past 2. So thank you for this, Kim. I'm just going to scroll down to see the message. And the message is, "Hi Phil, can you please add these donations and questions to your next live stream? I was wondering about the golden rock horn on your desk. Was it a gift, or did you make it from a mold of your hand, etc.? Thank you and take care, Kim." So thank you for that. If that was my hand, it would be a very large hand indeed. It's actually, quite a lot bigger than the headphones. But this was a gift from my sister. And early in the year is for my birthday. So I believe on the very live stream afterwards, I said that this was a gift from my sister and that I'd have it in the live streams or just on the desk so that she could see it there as well. Not that she tunes in, but just in case she did, she would see that I have her gift on my desk. So yeah, that was it. And it was, just a birthday gift and not a mold or anything fancy like that. But thank you for that, Kim. And because that was donated on Wednesday, this is why Kim said at your next live stream, because it was a few days ago. But thank you for that. And there's another donation that came through from Kim very early on Wednesday morning. Again, thank you for that, for £10. And the message is, "Hey Phil, do you ever miss being on stage and performing live? What about writing new music? Do you have a bunch of unfinished /unpublished songs? Cheers, my friend Kim." So thank you for that, Kim. And being on stage and performing live is great, but the part that everyone doesn't see is, having to set up all of your gear, getting there at like 1 in the afternoon, not being able to park your car, especially if you're in London, and you're not always playing on a huge stage. Sometimes it's just in a smaller pub or club, and as you guys will know from the real life stories, sometimes it's an absolute nightmare. So you have to factor in the amount of hassle. I mean, the fact that you don't get paid as well, that's another side of it, that you have to be prepared to take a financial hit if you're an original artist and you want to go out and gig. So I mean, it's great playing on stage, and yeah, it'd be great to play on stage with other people organising it all, and maybe being on tour and a company doing all the stuff for you and lifting all your gear, keeping your guitars in tune, all that kind of stuff. But when you're an independent artist, there's a hell of a lot of legwork to just play in front of people, and then you're relying on promoters and venues to actually have equipment or be suitable for live music. So yeah, every gig isn't always a huge gig, unfortunately. And yeah, I think that I'd probably get back to gigging if I knew it was going to be organised properly. And that's something that at the moment, as you can imagine, I haven't got time to go away and start organising gigs and getting bandmates together, all that kind of stuff. And I've already done it for 15 years, something like that. So yeah, I've already been out there, played lots and lots of gigs. I've done my fair share of gigs to know what they're like and how they can turn out. And having done it for 15 years, I was still in exactly the same place as when I first started. So it's something that is very much like, a hamster in a wheel. You're running, you're trying to get somewhere, but you're not actually moving. I think the best way to do it is to probably do what I'm doing here, which is, interact with people and potentially have a fan base for an event in the future where a lot of people can get together and it can be financially viable without kind of relying on other people to do it, because that's when it all falls apart. So I think, if I was getting back to performing, getting back to being on stage, it would be at something like Guffest or an event where other musicians are involved that I can potentially organise and contact on the internet. So, some of the bands that I've got to know through my channel, and just personally I can contact them and see if they want to play at Guffest and actually put an event together. And that's probably the circumstances under which I'd get back to being on stage rather than just going back to gigging because it's not something that I see any, I don't know, it's not attractive to me, the kind of gigs that I've done before. It would have to be something that is organised. So anyway, thank you for that, Kim. And as for writing new music, I think, I've got loads of ideas on my phone kind of over the years that I've put on my phone just as, little segments of ideas for songs. But having time to write new music, again, that's something that I haven't spent time on. And it's not something that's, a burning desire of mine. I've got my album, I spent a hell of a long time putting that together because, I self-produced it and did it all with this microphone. So, I spent a long time on that. And as you guys know, I kind of locked myself away for 6 or 7 months, just doing that day in, day out, just getting it all down to then have a product, to actually have an album that I can say, right, that's my album. And, once I've done that, and the fact that people like it and keep buying it, it means that I'm still sending that album off. So I'm spending my time doing that, keeping up with the business side of things, because it's me doing everything. It's not, some people who are sending the album off for me. I'm still doing that all personally. So I hadn't had time to do any new music, but it's not something that I feel like, I've got to do it, because I am selling music on a daily basis, which is my original album. So maybe in the future things will change and I'll have more time to dedicate to that, but everything's going fine at the moment. Actually, everything's going great at the moment. And this is the other thing about being an original artist, is that if I can do, live streams, analysis videos as well, and then people find out about my music and they like it and they buy the album, then that's great. Whereas before, when I was going out gigging, nobody would, the audience for original music, even in London on a Friday night, is awful. So you're generally just playing to a few people and the members of the other bands who are playing on the night. So it means you go away from that and you might not make a sale. So, you might do a couple of gigs a week and you might sell over a month, 4 or 5 albums, from your little merch table. And you've had 8 gigs where you've had to travel. You've got to pay petrol. You've got to rehearse. So it means, you're making a loss all the time. And those 4 or 5 albums aren't covering it. So, it's just not financially viable. So, I think the best way to do it is, pretty much like we're doing here, building up a community. And, if people check out the music and they like it, then that's great. And I'm guaranteed to sell more albums and get more downloads. Absolutely guaranteed doing this, and to get some through traffic through the website that, from people that are into the music. I'm going to make a hell of a lot more sales, with 280,000 subscribers. You don't need a lot of people, when you've got that many people to just hop over to the website and check out the music and maybe buy an album, and then it makes it financially viable. So it's the different ways of doing things, because I know that performing live for an independent artist and an original artist doesn't work, because I did it for 15 years. So when you then, do other things, and it's fortunate, I think, that I've done it for so long, because then doing analysis videos, it means that I can see what's going on when people are playing live, and when they're changing things with their setup, or when they're looking at each other because their foldback's not working, all that kind of stuff. I know because I've been there and I've done it and got the t-shirt, so it probably helps me with the things that I'm doing now with analysis videos. So yeah, it is, like I said, I've kind of got my album, I've got it out there, and doing things this way, I think, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. It'd be great maybe in the future to do more new music and maybe do another single. Running Blind was one of those that was a single outside of the album. But, in the future, we'll just see where we go. I mean, there's nothing in my mind that is screaming, oh, you've got to do something else. Because I'm quite happy just pushing forward with what I'm doing, and meeting other musicians. Like, I wouldn't have dreamt that 4 or 5 years ago that I'd be chatting with Steve Stevens from Billy Idol, being invited down to Wembley Arena to hang out with them after the show and all that kind of stuff. Just building these bridges that it's great, and it's not something that I would ever have done if I was going out and gigging, playing a gig on a Tuesday night in London. So yeah, I think very much just from every angle, really, what I'm doing, is great. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. So it's great as well that we get to go on this journey together, because if I was out gigging, you guys wouldn't have any knowledge of that because I wouldn't be here. And I might say, oh, I did a gig, but the camera didn't work, so I've got nothing, does happen. The camera didn't work, so and there's a problem with the guitar, the microphone, the venue didn't have one that worked, so I had to use my microphone. All of these problems that can happen playing live, so I literally wouldn't be here, and it's just something that I have to do maybe a couple of times a week, maybe upload a video. But then I'd be rehearsing, so I wouldn't be able to do these live streams anyway because I'd be in the rehearsal studio. So anyway, it's just a totally different way of doing it. And that's why I think Sussex University wanted to interview me from that point of view, that it's a different mindset. It's a different appreciation of how you have to make things financially viable for you, because you can't shell out 100 quid or more a week on rehearsals for a gig that you have to pay, 50 quid collectively each. If you're doing a couple of gigs, that's going to be £200 a week. It's just, when you think about it, it's crazy. It's going to be £200 a week to play 2 gigs, and you're not getting paid for that. So that's £800 a month just to try and be an independent artist, an original artist, if you want to go out and gig. So yeah, and that's not including, by the way, if you do a gig that is looked or controlled by a promoter, you have to buy the tickets in advance, and that was £300 the last time I did that. So you're looking at £1,200. I mean, it's crazy. If you want to do it seriously, it is crazy how difficult it is, because you're looking at that's like $1,500 just to want to do music. So that's why I think now original artists, independent musicians are now realizing that doing it on the internet, doing live streams, is the best way of doing it, because you've got a hell of a lot more audience. You've got the whole world. If you can get your name out there somehow, there's a hell of a lot more people that are going to be able to watch you. You're not restricted to just the members of the other band and the people that didn't turn up to watch original music. So yeah, doing it on the internet is very much, I think, the way to go. And certainly now, we've got this thing that we do on a Tuesday and a Saturday, and I get to interact with you guys in a live setting. And now we have that addition at the end of the live streams, the live jams, which are great as well. So yeah, I'm not really missing or feeling like I've got to suddenly write lots of new songs. Everything's absolutely fine. I think there'll be a place for that in the future. But yeah, playing live is something that I never rule it out. It's got to be the right occasion, though. It's got to be the right setup, and something that I think I've got to be involved with setting up to make sure it goes how I want it to go, and the kind of level and the bar is set at the right level, so that you've actually got quality bands playing as well. So anyway, thank you for that, Kim. Long answer to that question, but thank you for that donation. And I'm just going to scroll up because there was a donation from Tammy as well for £10. So thank you for that, Tammy. And the message was, "Hi Phil, What makes you like a song? The melody, the lyrics, or something else? So thank you for that, Tammy. And I think to begin with, probably either a guitar riff or a riff of some sort on the piano that's, hooky. I mean, it doesn't have to be piano, guitar, piano, saxophone, you name it. Anything that's, got something about it that kind of draws you in. It can even be just an interesting chord progression, but yeah, generally something a bit hooky to begin with. And then, as you progress, I tend to be more into guitar based music, so it would probably be a bit of a riff and then somebody with a great voice. It always helps. So that's generally what draws me in. Guitar, good vocals, interesting. I mean, it doesn't have to be particularly progressive, just great melody, some strong melodies, maybe harmony vocals as well, but everything is different. So I don't know, it's difficult for me to say exactly what it is that draws me in, but it's generally going to be along the melody side of things. I always like a nice strong melody, and I wouldn't say I'm particularly drawn in by anything overly technical, like shredding on the guitar. I mean, it's fine. When I say shredding, I mean just constantly fast playing. I know that some people class shredding as, playing fast segments, regardless of how much of it you do. But there are particular, songs and compositions that just have pretty much constant fast notes going on, either 16th notes, 30-second notes if you're talking about a slower composition, but with lots of alternate picking and arpeggios especially. So yeah, not something that I'm into myself, and that's not the way that I play guitar either. I like to try and sing through the guitar, so all of those faster sections are all subconscious, so it means that you're just offloading the conscious thought. So you're not thinking about the arpeggios, all of the alternate picking, all the runs. You're just going through all of the runs that you have practiced, sitting down, playing the same run over and over and over again for a few hours a day for probably a few months until you get it up to speed. Whereas I don't really like to play like that. I'd rather just play something that I'm thinking of rather than just playing lots of stuff that I've sat down and spent months and months and months on playing the same run over and over and over again, because that really does nothing for me artistically. I don't get anything from that. I get something from singing, and this is why when I learned to play the guitar, it's because I couldn't sing. So I wanted to be able to sing the notes I had in my head through the guitar. And I was never thinking in my head going like that. That never happens in my head. I'm always singing a melody that I'm imagining over the top. And yeah, it just turned out that later on I had to then figure out how to sing, because I wanted to be able to do whole songs, so I could then literally sing the melodies that I was thinking of. But yeah, sweep picking, arpeggios, all that kind of stuff is just too subconscious for me. I just want to get my brain and my ear involved in what's going on with the backing, rather than saying, okay, this is in A minor and it's in a particular scale or a particular mode. So then people, I know that it depends what you're into, and some people just say, right, what's the key, what's the mode, and I'll play all the runs that I know in that particular key and mode, and that's fine. But I like to just listen to backing and just not know any modes or even the key, and just sing with it, just sing over the top. That's what I get a lot out of. So anyway, thank you for that, Tammy. And scrolling up, because Steve has donated £5. Thank you for that, Steve. The message is, Richie Blackmore says, the right way to play Smoke on the Water is with parallel fourths. Other guitarists play it in several different ways. What are the advantages / disadvantages of the different ways it can be played? So, yes, let me see if I can answer this really quickly, and I might lean over and grab a guitar, because it should be plugged in, but I don't have space to kind of play it properly at the moment. I might be okay. Right, so playing Smoke on the Water, I think this is something that everybody, when they start to play the guitar, they kind of go kind of like that. and they play it all on one string. You probably couldn't see that, but having that, you know, I think that's pretty much what most students, or at least a lot of the students that I had that were under the age of, I don't know, maybe 14, they would all do that, and that's the particular riff that they knew, or I can't remember what other riffs, but generally that's the one that their parents have showed them, and then they've kind of learned to do it on one string. And the thing about that is, doesn't matter where you go, you can play that on any string and it's still going to sound fine as long as you go to the right frets. But if you're playing it properly, which I have to put it down a little bit, you're going to have to play these two strings together. And then I'm going to stop there just in case copyright gets involved. So, as you can hear that, that now sounds right because you have the two notes playing together. The parallel fourths, as Steve has mentioned there, Richie Blackmore says, the right way to play Smoke on the Water is with parallel fourths. So you've got the two notes going on at the same time rather than just playing one note. Because when you just play one note, obviously you haven't got those two notes interacting with each other and therefore getting the harmony that everybody will recognize. So yeah, it's very important to hit those two strings together, and that's the important thing. You just got to make sure that you do. I don't know whether, hopefully you guys can hear my guitar, but yeah, that's what you want to do if you want to play it properly. And I mean, I played it there with my first finger, moving up a bit so you can see, first finger and second finger, so that when you play those two strings together, again, you want to maybe look at that right hand to make sure you're just hitting those two and not going too far, and hitting the B string and the high E string. So you've got to be careful with that right hand. And I mean, if you are really careful, you might be able to get away with doing a bar with that first finger, but the danger is you might start to get that major sound from the actual chord shape. So yeah, it's almost like you're playing that full chord, whereas you just want to keep it to those two strings, the D string and the G string. Anyway, thank you for that, Steve. Hopefully that makes sense. So yeah, the advantages of playing it incorrectly is that it's easier to play. The disadvantage is it won't sound exactly like the riff. So let's scroll up because Kim has donated £10 as well. Thank you for that, Kim. And that is a straight up donation. I can see that there's been another donation in the super chat window as well. So thank you for that. Lucy, I'm just going to jump into that one. $4.99. So thank you. And the message is, our Mind on Music wants to know where to get your CD since the chat is too fast. Also, thank you for that, Lucy. And just go to wingsofpegasus.com and there it is. Just type that in and that'll take you through to the website, of course. If you want to type in wingsofpegasus.com/merch, then that'll take you through to the merch, and /music will take you through to the music. So yeah, and you can get the songs there individually if you want, the album, signed album, all that kind of stuff. So yeah, that's where to head to. So thank you for that, Lucy, and I'll Mind on Music as well for being interested in hopping over and picking up a song or two or the whole album. So let's get rid of that. Percy Johnson, by the way, was the song that we started with as requested over on Patreon. Thank you guys for that. And that is on my album called Persistence, which is at that site, wingsofpegasus.com. And we have a vote going on for tonight's cover video. It is between Power of Love and Iris. And it's close. Power of Love has 52% of the vote so far. So if you want to hear Iris, get voting for that. If you do want to hear Power of Love, just keep on voting for that one. It's currently in the lead. But thank you for that, Kim. And scrolling up because Deborah has donated £7 as well. And what I'm going to do is just move this a little bit so hopefully I can get this on screen for you guys to see. And we should be able to scroll down. So thank you for that, Deborah. And the message is 280,000 subscribers, a spike of the likes and plug of the mug. Thank you for the reminder. I have to get a little bit better. I used to be very good at plugging the mug, but I have been a little bit, bad with it recently. There's so much going on, I forget to do it. But yeah, if you want to get your hands on the Wings of Pegasus mug, or the various mugs that you can get, just head to the link in the description below, spring.com. That's where you want to go. Or there might be a tray underneath this video as well. So you can do that. And I just managed to unbuckle my watch very cleverly, so I don't know how I did that. Anyway, thank you, Deborah, for that and reminding me to plug the mug. Scrolling up because Maria donated £1.62. So thank you for that, Maria. And the message is, hi, Phil. There's something for your new chair fund. Spike those likes, everyone. So thank you for that. And scrolling up because Lucy donated £28. So thank you for that, Lucy. And the message is, howdy, Phil, fellow wingers and new wingers. Congratulations on 280k subscribers. Spike the likes, y'all. Join the Wings of Pegasus Facebook page, buy the cool merch, and become a patron with some rock horns, heart, and peace. So thank you for that, Lucy. Yes, head over to, if you are a Facebook user, the Wings of Pegasus supporters group. Over there, you can join in with the lovely people in the live chat room. That's where they hang out between live streams, and you can keep the conversation going over there. Upload pictures as well if you have any Wings of Pegasus merchandise, all that kind of stuff. If you win a signed Wings of Pegasus pick that looks like this from the pick roulette, then you can take a picture, upload that as well. And we will be having a pick roulette later on, by the way, and I can see that we're already at 1:45 in the morning, so let's keep things moving along. And Media Rex has donated £8.10. Thank you for that. And the message is, thanks from Rex Suba or Suba, aka Media Rex in Las Vegas. So thank you for that, Rex. And yeah, great to know that you're in Las Vegas. And I think Steve and Billy are in Las Vegas at the moment. I think they've got a few shows, or maybe a week of shows in Las Vegas. So yeah, so you can check out Billy Idol if you want to in Las Vegas, because they will be playing there at the moment. I do believe, I remember Billy saying. Right, let's move up. And Carla has donated £5 as well. So thank you for that, Carla. And I'm just going to scroll down because the message is, your thoughts on child musicians considering the passing of Aaron Carter, who was thrown into it at 8. So thank you for that, Carla. And yeah, I heard about this on the internet, but I'm not familiar with Aaron Carter. It's not somebody that we know here in the UK, or at least isn't in my circles or knowledge of musicians that we have here. So yeah, I don't know whether it was something like, maybe Miley Cyrus. I think she was in a Disney show or something when she was young, and then got into music after that. I'm not familiar with exactly the journey, but I believe that's how it happened. So yeah, I mean, it's a difficult one because I think if you get into music at such a young age and you are popular at that age, then it's very difficult because you don't have a normal upbringing. But then again, I would actually say that nowadays, even kids who do have a normal upbringing, I don't think it is normal, because they spend their life on social media and Instagram and Twitter and wanting to get people to like their posts, and then they'll upload a picture, but then it will be edited. There'll be different things that you can do, filters that change the way that you look, and that's something that, I mean, adults do that as well, but the kids do it. So they're now becoming self-conscious about themselves at a ridiculously young age, thinking that they've got to now look like they look in a filter on Instagram, for example. So yeah, I mean, I'm really thankful that I grew up before the internet, so I didn't have the option of going online and having these websites that I could upload a picture to and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, all I did was go out and play football or play on my bike and all that kind of stuff. And I actually was out in the real world when I was a kid. And yeah, the internet didn't really come along until, I would say, maybe when I was 14, something like that. So it meant that the first thing that we could do was do an email, which blew our minds. And I mean, it wasn't like you message now, as I'm sure you guys know. it took a long time because the person actually had to refresh their screen to get the email, so they wouldn't know if they've got one or not. So it means that you'd spend like hours between, waiting for the reply. So yeah, I was around before the internet, so that's what my childhood was spent doing, just normal childhood things. But I think psychologically for kids nowadays, even when you're not famous, they've got this problem already of wanting to be liked, wanting to get the most likes or as many likes as they can. And if they don't get as many likes as that other people are getting, then they'll feel like a failure. Whereas, I can't really imagine that as a kid, how that would make me feel. And maybe it's a reason for such an increase in, mental health or mental health problems, especially among children, because you've got this constant need to be liked or to have somebody click a little heart on the screen. So yeah, unfortunately, I think the future generations now, because of the internet, are always going to have problems. But I think as well, the problem is it's about the parents, that they've got to let the kids know that, it's so difficult when all of their friends at school must be on social media. So if they're not on social media, they'll be like an outcast. So yeah, it's like a catch-22. But yeah, I think it's important for kids and everyone really to know that the real world is outside. It's not on the screen. So yeah, especially with young artists who are very popular at a very young age. Their life is just not the same anyway, because they're growing up in kind of like a bubble where they're famous and lots of people know them, and they never really have a chance to grow up as a normal person, or even just become their own person, because some people don't even know who they are because they're just this pop star or this person that they think other people think you are. And actually, that's something that I mentioned about, to Sussex University. I said that the most important thing is just to be yourself. Like, don't pretend to be someone, because then you've got to pretend to be that person for the rest of your life, and that is going to do your head in. That's going to give you mental problems when you can't express yourself. So yeah, certainly, Aaron Carter, I didn't know of him, but I think very much the pressure on young children when they're growing up and they're very popular, it's a mental health thing. They've got to have that appreciation of the real world and have their own life and have their own chance to be a kid themselves. But of course, if they're signed to a record label, they are now a commodity, and that record label are going to push that commodity for as much money as they can make from that particular kid. Unfortunately, that's just the business side of it. So it might be the case that parents would have to step in and say, don't sign that contract. If people already know you, you can start to build your own career at your own pace rather than being, pushed into the limelight. But, it's the other thing, that for kids, they see the whole, record deal as, like a dream, and, it's all rose-tinted glasses, not realising what the industry's like. So, yeah, getting into that industry is just a bad thing to begin with anyway, in my opinion. Anyway, thank you for that, Carla. And just going to scroll up because Rebecca has donated £10. Thank you for that, Rebecca. And the message is donation to the chair fund. Otherwise, you'll have to use the pitch correct software on that current chair. So thank you for that. Yeah, we can get it making noises in particular keys and notes. Hit particular pitches. That would be an interesting experiment to do. Anyway, thank you, Nora, as well, who has donated £20. So thank you for that. The message is just a thank you for being a great source of musical info and for bringing together such a great group of people in the chat. So thank you for that, Nora. And it's 5-1 here in the morning, so I'm just going to scroll up because we've got to get through these. Thomas has donated £2 as well. Thank you for that, Thomas. The message is, hi Phil, recently started watching your streams and really enjoy it. Watch some YouTube videos of you on X Factor. Just wondering, how far did you get and did it help? So thank you for that, Thomas. And the X Factor, it didn't help at all. I didn't get any new subscribers or any more fan base or following other than the fan base that I had beforehand. And this is the thing, the X Factor, I went on there just to prove a point that even if you don't perform in the earlier auditions, you have to do I think it was 5 auditions or 4 auditions before you get on TV. And then the 5th one is the TV audition, but everyone only ever sees the 5th one, and they think that's the first one. That's not the case. You've done 4 before that. So the previous 4 auditions, I didn't play. I didn't do anything. I just walked out of the room, and they kept putting me through. So I was very much just making a point that if you just act up and do something a bit outrageous, you will get on TV, or you will progress further than people who are actually musicians who want to try and get further on the show. So that's kind of the point that I was making, and it was very successful, and I was successful in making the point. And I have all of the auditions that I did. I just started playing Johnny Be Good on the guitar, and then started, just walked out of the room, so the judges couldn't even see me or hear me. And I recorded it all on a flip camera, so I've got all of the auditions that I did walking out of the room. And at some point I'm sure that I can show those, but that's just showing what the TV shows are about. It's a TV show, it's not really a talent show. Obviously when you get to the later stages, hopefully some talent has got through, but it's got to be the popular talent and people with a backstory that the show has concentrated on, because they spend a hell of a lot of hours and time getting together footage of particular stories and musicians, or singers I should say, that they want to get quite far, because they've spent time building up that story for them, to pull on the heartstrings of the audience. So that was an interesting thing. I mean, it's like 10 years ago now, but absolutely nothing happened from any perspective, because that was 2013. And it was, that's 10 years ago. I'd say everything started to take off here maybe 4 or 5 years ago. And that's from, my own music and my album and me messaging lots of people, asking them to check it out. So nothing to do with X Factor. But the good thing about the X Factor is that I do get a royalty for when that audition at Wembley Arena is shown, because they wanted me to do a Bon Jovi song, but I didn't. I did my own song, which means that I get paid for that, because I own all of my publishing rights. So that's something that I made sure that happens, so that Simon Cowell has to pay me every time that clip is shown. So anyway, thank you for that, Thomas. And Carla's donated £5, so thank you for that, Carla. And the message is, he was Nick Carter from the Backstreet Boys' brother, and he didn't make it as far as Big Brother. So thank you for that, Carla. Okay, so I've heard of Backstreet Boys, and I don't know which one Nick Carter is, but I think from the picture that I saw of Aaron Carter, he had like blonde hair, and I think I know one had blonde hair from Backstreet Boys. I don't know a lot about kind of boy bands, 90s boy bands, but I know a little bit, because the ones that did get into the mainstream charts here in the UK, I might know. I think there was like NSYNC as well, NSYNC, something like that. But definitely out of my knowledge area. But thank you for that, Carla. But, again, some catchy songs. Backstreet's Back. I think that was one that was very popular here in the UK, but I think across the world is quite consistently played even nowadays. But thank you, Karen, as well, who has donated £40 and 49 pence, and that is a straight up donation. So thank you for that, Karen. Right, quickly. Stardust Unicorn donated $2. Thank you for that. Straight up donation and support band to Wings of Pegasus, as we always say. Jennifer donated $5 as well. Thank you for that, Jennifer. The message was, what do you think of kids who are good on an instrument? Is that good or bad? And wish I could get people to ditch their phones at the door. So thank you for that, Jennifer. I have a video that was titled, Why Are People Impressed More by Kids? Or something like that. Who are playing things that adults can play, because it's a kid, it seems to be more impressive. So check out that video, and I go into a lot more in depth than I can do here. And just Jean has donated $3 as well, so thank you for that. And it's the guy doing the big thumbs up, so thank you for that, Jean, or Jeannie, I suppose it could be pronounced as well. So thank you for that. We are going to be jumping into tonight's cover video. Let's stop it and see which one is going to come out on top. It was really close, and going through, it is Power of Love that got 50% of the vote, so that's going to be 50 point something. and Iris got 49. So yeah, really close tonight. I hope you guys enjoy this one. It's my version of Power of Love by Huey Lewis and the News, of course. And I'll catch you guys after this. Rock! And there we have it. That was my version of Power of Love. I hope you guys enjoyed that. Thank you for requesting that over on Patreon. And we are, I can see, over the goal for tonight's pick roulette, or the likes for next week's pick roulette. So thank you guys for hitting that thumbs up, but you can keep on hitting that thumbs up. If you're part of the catch-up crew, you're watching this in the future, you can still hit that thumbs up. It really does help this live stream to get out there and for the channel to grow on the whole. Let's jump into the pictures and then the pick roulette. So let's jump first of all to this picture that's been sent in by Arden. So thank you for this. And I mean, a bit of a unique one here, because it might just look like some legs and feet, but I'm on the screen and it's a little bit small to see, but there's a Wings of Pegasus signed pic. So Arden is a pick roulette winner, and it does say on her feet, Vince has let me know that it says thank you is written on Arden's feet. So thank you for uploading that one. And this next one we have Anna and Bev. So we have Anna on the left and Bev on the right, and they're meeting up in real life. So it's great when wingers get together in the real world. And we also have Anna's dad, I do believe, at the bottom of the pictures on the right hand side, giving us some rock horns, and he's in a Wings of Pegasus hat as well. So thank you for uploading that picture, and meeting up in real life. It's great, and at some point I'm sure if we can get some kind of event going that there can be a Guffest winger event, and we'll just have a massive meeting. But anyway, thank you for uploading that one, Anna and Bev, getting together in real life. And Vince, by the way, thank you for sending these to me and letting me know that they exist. So let's get back to me. We are going to be jumping into tonight's pick roulette. It's 6 minutes past 1 already, so we've only got 9 minutes left of the live stream. So let's jump into the pick roulette for tonight, and I'll see you guys in a second. Rock. So let's get the wheel up on screen. There it is. If this is your first pick roulette wheel, we have the darker segments. These are t-shirts. If we land on one of those, then we're going to have a t-shirt roulette. If we land on a name, then somebody goes away with the signed Wings of Pegasus pick. So I'm going to pick a top tip because I haven't done that yet. Let's say Alison J is going to be the top tip for tonight, and therefore guaranteed not to win because I've never correctly picked the winner before. But let's give the wheel a spin and see who's going to win, because there's always a first time. Alison J, top tip for tonight. And I always say double your chances of winning by joining in on a Tuesday night as well as a Saturday night, because whenever we hit the pick roulette likes goal, we have a pick roulette the next week. That's how it works. So we are slowing down, and let's see if Alison J, oh no, there she goes. Right, but we are slowing down. Is it going to get to a t-shirt? Is it going to get to a t-shirt? It's going to get to Teresa. So close, yet so far to a t-shirt roulette as well. But Teresa is the winner for tonight, so congratulations to you. If you can let yourself be known to Carla in the live chat room, that'd be much appreciated, so that Carla can get all of the information she needs from you to get that Wings of Pegasus pick signed. I signed it. So the signed Wings of Pegasus pick sent off to you. And commiserations to everybody else, including Alison, the top tip for tonight. So let's get everything back up on screen, because now entries are open for next week's pick roulette. So you want to type this into the live chat room. We go at Carla Murray. In order to tag her in the comment, type I agree, exclamation mark, optional, and then you can get your name. Oh, it's already gone through. Wings Pegasus, I agree, going through there. So make sure that you copy what everybody else is about to do in the live chat room. If you don't know how to get your name on the wheel, just copy that and you'll have your name on next week's pick roulette wheel, where you could be going away with a signed Wings Pegasus pick or custom made t-shirt, which is signed as well. So anyway, let's see where we are at. We're up to date there. And we have, Paul donated $2 and said, your hair looks good. Has it been cut recently? So my hairdresser has COVID, unfortunately, at the moment. So it means my next official haircut is going to be happening in another 2 weeks' time. But Suzanne linked me to this guy on YouTube who does like haircuts or shows you how to do it. And I initially said to Suzanne that I haven't got the confidence to cut my own hair. But it was yesterday, it was getting so ridiculous that, I mean, at the moment, yeah, it's fine. But it was getting so ridiculous, I thought, okay, I might try and just cut the fringe with what this guy, or the way that the guy is showing you how to do it. So the problem is, when you've got a fringe and, you're supposed to comb it down, when it's in front of your eyes, and my hair's quite thick, when it's in front of your eyes, you can't see anything. All you can see is your hair. So it's like being blindfolded. So then trying to cut your own hair when you can't see is an issue. So anyway, earlier, in step, my mum, because I said to her, I can't see anything. I want to have my fringe cut. And can I show you how this guy does it on YouTube? And then, maybe you can do it, because she can see my hair and I can't see my hair, but I know what to do, or at least, can follow the instructions. So I showed her the video and then, talked her through how to do it. And long story short, it means that my mum was cutting my hair earlier, fortunately a lot better than she did when I was younger, which I've mentioned on the live streams before, where she went to shave my head and she didn't have the grading thing on it. So it means that there's a distance between the shaver and your hair. It's like a block, like a black block, which means that it cuts it at a particular length. But she didn't have the shaver on it, or the distance thing. So she went like that and it went down to my head. So it was literally like shaving like you would on your face. So I then had a bald patch like here on my head. So then she cut it all short and did a bald patch on the other side, so I looked like I was about 40 years old when I was, I think, 12 or 13, because it was secondary school. So yeah, what a great time to do that. So yes, massively more successful this time. So Paul noticed, but I think it's still quite close to my eyes, so it might have to be parted. It just so happens that I washed it and dried it, and it seems to be sitting in a nice place at the moment. But my hair is totally random, so we might have to go centre parting at some point in the future or over the next 2 weeks. So thank you for that, Paul. And Marcia has donated $4.99 as well. So thank you for that, Marcia. And that is a straight up donation. So yeah, there we have it. That's a bit of exclusive information. That's, needs must. And a big thank you to my mum for actually helping me out, because I think she's probably the only person that I would trust to do my hair, because, especially with our history, it's like I made sure that I was talking her through it, and, because of her history, she knows to go very slowly, not to make a disastrous mistake. But anyway, Paul, thank you for noticing that. But yeah, it's pretty good at the moment. Like I said, it might get to the point where we'll have to do some centre partings and get a little bit jazzy with it in the future. So I think we are up to date with everything. And what should we do? We've got a few minutes, so we can either have the jam, which the guitar's plugged in. I've already played it, so that should be fine. Not sure about the levels. We can either have the jam, maybe a fill tune, or a riff of the week. So let me know what you guys want to see in the live chat room. If we do a jam, we'll just load up something randomly. Charlie says jam time. Jennifer says jam, please. So it probably won't be for very long. I have to do this. Ooh, can I remember how to do this? I need to go over here. Or do I need to do like we do kind of the jam, or I tell you what, let's do guitar backing tracks, put that in there, have a search on here, okay, let's have a little scroll down. I think before we've done maybe the jam tracks, they all tend to be like blues based, so we'll kind of have a little scroll down, but okay, we'll choose this one. And it's G Mixolydian, so that's a mode, by the way, but we don't really worry too much about the modes. You just play and see what feels right. Guitar backing track, trip hop style. So we'll have a go at this, and this is from Quist, and so Quist is obviously quite a popular backing track. And I'm just going to scroll down to make sure that we can play along with this. And sometimes they say, don't use it. You can only use it like we've done before when you purchase the track and all that kind of stuff. But it just looks like it's got, just kind of links underneath it, just saying happy jamming. So we'll have a little scroll up, but you guys can check this out. I believe this is going to be like a backing track channel. Quist, 272,000 subscribers. So yeah, very popular channel indeed. So yeah, and this is G Mixolydian, blues, guitar, backing track, trip hop style. So let's have a listen to this and see what happens. And I can't hear it. And it looks like he's playing the guitar as well. So maybe he's just doing like a little intro. Okay, oh, we've got some really cool stuff going on here. I'm going to get into analysis mode here. Oh, okay, well, we'll just let him play through. Yeah, so let's just kind of play through it. Oh. Okay, right, let's just have a little play along with this, see what happens. Turn up a bit. Too loud.
It's actually quite difficult to hear the backing because it's too low, but can you hear? I'm hoping that you can hear my guitar. I'm just trying. I think it's just staying in the same key. I'm hoping that it is from what I can hear in the background. But I mean, you guys probably can't even hear it over the mic. But I'll keep on playing. We'll keep it in this G major. hopefully that kind of goes with the minor. I'm kind of throwing in a little bit of kind of blues. Okay, oh hang on, we are stopping. So that's the end of the track. Yeah, it's just over 5 minutes in length. So that's the end of the backing track. So, that was a little bit of a kind of feeling our way while playing and hoping that, yeah, it kind of worked. I think it sounded like it was working more in the major rather than kind of going... rather than the minor. It did seem to have that, but it did say Mixolydian, so I should have... you know, I should... If I had any sense, I'd just play through the scale up and down, because then I'd always be safe. But like I said earlier in tonight's live stream, I just like to kind of try and sing over the top, and then whenever you start playing stuff a little bit faster and you're not really familiar with where you're going, that's where you're relying on that kind of subconscious muscle memory. So that I should have done all that. Anyway, thank you guys for tuning in tonight for the live stream. We're going to be live streaming again next week, but look out for that premiere on Tuesday night, because that's going to be a live stream premiere that we tried before, but we kind of messed it up. So it's going to be hopefully a proper version of that, where I'll be joining you guys as well in the live chat room. So we'll be jumping into that, and we'll probably have on that live stream, it might be a longer jam session at the end, because when we're doing the premiere version, obviously you're in the live chat room and not on the screen, so it might be more time to fill at the end. We will see. So tune in for that. I will be joining you guys then on Tuesday. Another video coming your way tomorrow night, so look out for that one. And I mean, big shout out to the moderators again for doing such a fantastic job. And just to make sure that we've got through everything, we're up to date. Marcia donated $4.99 in the super chat window, so I can't remember whether we mentioned that or not, but thank you for that. And Carla says Wings of Pegasus will be having more premieres, or just so Tuesday is just probably more of an experiment to see for the future if it's something that's viable, but I am planning on still live streaming as we normally do. But if something does pop up in the future, say for example in the next 4 weeks or 6 weeks or something that I know about, and I realize I've got to be in a different place and I can't do a live stream, then I'll do a premiere. And it's just really finding our feet with it on Tuesday to see how it all works. And I'm aiming to tune in as well, so that I can see how it works as a premiere or as a live stream to chat with you guys in the live chat room, rather than kind of going through all the comments that we had to do last time on the last video. So yeah, we're not going to be doing premieres for every live stream. It's just a bit of an experiment next Tuesday night. So yeah, look out for that. Yeah, thank you Carla and all the other moderators in there for doing such a fantastic job, and thank you guys for joining me tonight. Like I said, I'm going to be tuning in to the premiere on Tuesday night. So hopefully I'll see you then. And yeah, live streaming next week as well on Saturday night. Hopefully you guys have managed to get the I agrees in. But Time to Relax has donated £2. It says, Phil, love watching the jam riff at the end. Keep it up. So thank you for that. And yes, these jams are a little bit random at the end, but yeah, just a little bit of fun. And I think it was Laura that said it's like the Under the Spotlight, the series that I did, where we had a few of those, but my own version of it. Just kind of loading up a track, trying to listen to it. The problem that I have is that when the backing track is too loud, there's going to be feedback with the microphone, and because it's coming out of my speakers. So I can hear my guitar through the amp, because that isn't going to, cause any feedback because it's quiet. but the backing track will produce feedback, so it's kind of getting it loud enough so I can kind of hear what's going on, but I can hear it better when I hit a note that is, you know, a little bit jazzy, and I think, okay, all right, it must be maintaining the major key the whole way through and not changing at all. So yeah, bit random at the end, but it's fun. This is what guitar playing is all about. Just go with it, go with the flow and see what happens, and try and sing through your guitar. And sometimes when you can't hear the backing, you are singing a note in your head that actually doesn't go. So anyway, thank you guys for tuning in tonight. I'll see you tomorrow night with that analysis video and on the premiere on Tuesday night. So as I always say, stay as safe and as sane as possible in this crazy world in which we live in, and I'll catch you guys at the next one. Rock!